Joe. How are you today?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, buddy. Good. Everything good?
Yeah, I can't complain. I got my Life X-Cel tincture here, and I got my we call this the topical salve, but it's got to go on my elbow soon, man. I worked out pretty hard today, but I live and breathe this stuff here. I absolutely love it. Ever since I got the CBD oil, I would say about a month ago, it's been absolutely fantastic. Calms you down. Everything is good, and it goes through your system. It's so biological. I absolutely love it. So,
Which one are you using more?
well, I definitely use the tincture. I mean, it's 1,000 milligrams. So I generally take it. I mean, it's different for most people. Some people take it in the morning, some take it in the afternoon, some take it like an hour or so before bed. I mean, there's so much stuff that I've learned since being involved with Life X-Cel. Like, for example, the best way to take it is under your tongue, full tincture, or depending on the dosage you want. I take about 3/4 to a full vial, and you leave it under your tongue for about 90 seconds, right? Which feels kind of awkward because people will just take it and swallow it right away. It takes a while to absorb, so I wait my 90 seconds, and then I take that. Usually I take mine after my workouts, so I work out in and around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. In and around this time, 11:30 a.m. is when I pop it, and then, not pop it, I'll do the tincture, hold it for 90 seconds, and that's it. So I'm going to just go on with the rest of my day. But I mean, the benefits are unbelievable. I do use the salve where I'm feeling pain and injuries. And for those that know me, I've been involved in the UFC world for the better part of 20 years. So at my age, mid-40s, compared to when I was
40
training.
plus tax. 40 plus tax.
Exactly. So back in the day, 20 or 25 years ago when we were training, this is the late 90s, tapping out was not a thing. You tried to figure out a way out. So before you know it, you're spraining, your ankle, you're popping your shoulder, you're popping your elbow capsule, your rib cage, whatever it might be. So I've got these injuries from my 20s that are now creeping up all the time. They keep coming back with whatever I'm doing, whether I'm working out with the weights, whether I'm doing cardio, whether I coach soccer. So whenever I'm coaching with the boys, these are little 9, 10-year-olds that I'm chasing around with the ball, or they're chasing me around with the ball. And you wake up the next morning, or you come home at night and you're like, what is going on here? So little CBD, or I put the solvent on the parts that really are hurting. And then I say within a day or two, that pain is gone. It's usually gone. It may come back, right? Even if it doesn't cure it. Usually, I mean, there's one injury that I had before that I've been using the solvent. It's gone. Like, I don't even feel it anymore. And will it rear its ugly head? It might. I don't know. But right now, it's fantastic. So.
Yeah. What are you finding, like some of your friends are saying, like when you're getting these results, like with the creams and stuff, what are some of the things that they're saying about it?
Everyone loves it, but it's all dependent on the individual. It all depends on your dosage. I mean, there's a lot of misconceptions out there regarding CBD that, it only comes from the marijuana plant. No, that's not true at all. CBD can come from 2 plants. Now, I want to be clear. I am not exactly a doctor. I continue to educate myself almost every single day, but I know there are 2 strains of the cannabis plant, or cannabis in general. There's the hemp plant, and then there's the weed plant. And I try to tell people the same thing. It's like meat, right? You can have pork or you can have beef. They're all meat, but they're 2 different types of meat. It's the same thing with cannabis. You can have it from the hemp plant, the CBD, or you can have it from the weed plant, the marijuana plant, that's got much more THC. So the Life X-Cel one comes from the hemp plant, so you're not going to get high. There's no psychoactive effect. It's part of your biology. It just goes through your system, deals with anxiety. I mean, the stuff that it works on, from your brain to your eyes to your heart to your stomach to your intestines, your joints, your bones, it's unbelievable. Now, with some of my friends, like I said, it depends on what their goals are. It depends on what their usage are. I have friends that refuse to smoke or ingest any sort of THC, so Life X-Cel beyond measure is perfect for them.
And I agree with you. I know dealing in the medical marijuana field before with a lot of patients that were suffering from anxiety and depression, they found, that CBD gave them a lot more focus. They took away those fears and those anxieties, and they just became more focused during the day. And, they started, weaning off of some of the antidepressants that they were taking. And they started just CBD oil and seeing great results with that. So, and I know myself suffering from anxiety and depression. I take it as well,
Right. So, but there are things that do make me nervous that I've got to pay attention to, that, there's times that I've got to keep my mind focused.
Yes.
Once you're laser in on your focus, and above all, Joe, my theory's always been simple. People are tuned in to learn and pay attention to whatever you're speaking about. So in our case right now, it's CBD. So,
Yeah.
and this is raw, this is real, this is unedited. This is just click the camera on, put the microphone on, and let two guys just talk about it. So there could be screw-ups, there could be errors, right? It's not like a produced show that you would see on television. So I never feel nervous about that.
I didn't think we were gonna. I'm tearing up here talking to you because I didn't think it was gonna go here. But this is how it's affected me.
Yeah, you're doing great, man. This is awesome. There's a lot of stuff though that, when you think about what you've gone through, what I've gone through, and what everyone's gone through, because mentally speaking, there's a lot of things that we hold in that cause the anxiety, or outside, I call it the social stuff, the stuff that outside, like look at the pandemic we're in. It's affecting so many people, right? But a little bit of CBD here and there, it'll calm you down. I'm gonna get you high, but it resets your body, it resets everything, and you can just go about your day nice and calm. And some people say, you know what? I needed to sleep. Beautiful. Take a bit before you go to bed, an hour before you go to bed, relax, unwind, sleep the night away.
No, you're 100% right. 100%, and it does help with leveling all the stress out,
For sure. You came from a background more from the medicinal side, from marijuana. Did you know that the CBD can come from, the hemp plant as well as the marijuana plant, or did you always think it was marijuana wise?
No, I knew from early on, from watching. I got into the industry when I first saw a CNN documentary from Dr. Sanjeev Gupta.
Those are awesome. Yeah.
He actually interviewed the Charlotte, which was the first girl, Charlotte's Web, where the strain came from. And that whole documentary changed everything for me. When I saw that little girl that was suffering from all those seizures, 300 seizures a year, going down to like hardly anything, I just saw that there's this CBD was going to save a lot of people as far as, PTSD, mental health, seizures, and all this. And that's when I got involved in the industry. So I started working for a company in the medical cannabis industry, and basically working on the front lines. I was customer service, patient care. I would get the people that were telling me they were suffering from these ailments, and I was trying to figure out which strain to give them.
Yeah, for sure. Once you find a passion, especially with something that you have experience in and that you enjoy and that you are helping other people, it's extremely rewarding, right? And, I've been on quietly because this is prior to even marijuana being legalized, because the stigma of CBD and marijuana, how the two are correlated. I've been quietly, a proponent of all things CBD and marijuana for basically my whole life. My whole life it's been like that. But I chose to do it in a different manner. I chose to time when I came out and discussed it a lot more, only because there's an image that I would always like to adhere to, and it's the Showdown Joe image that most people know me for, the Showdown Joe image from television, from the UFC and MMA world. And I always prided myself on keeping it as professional as possible. People are like, how come you never swear in interviews? I'm like, well, that's not what people want to see. There's kids that watch my interviews or watch my show, or teenagers. You got to be as best of a role model as you can be. I'm not the most perfect human being, but if they can see me being a good person, dressing well. I remember back in the day, Joe, when I used to do, when the UFC really started getting, before it got really popular, but we would go out and we would do the shows, and I'm the only media guy wearing a suit and tie. Now it's commonplace. There's still guys showing up there in their t-shirts and shorts, and because they're not on camera, but I would always show up there, sports that would ensure that I was there in a suit and tie, or at least dressed well. So I think it's very proper and smart for me as an example to always look good whenever I do anything in the public. And if I'm going to do that, and I know people have kids that tune in, because I've had parents come up to me and say, my son or daughter wants to get into MMA, or my son and daughter, now it's a soccer thing. What do I do for soccer? So I'm also, the players on my team, Joe, they're 9 and 10. They look at my stuff on Instagram. They look at my stuff on YouTube. They look at my stuff all over social media. So imagine they see their coach, who they look up to, who's, a mentor, their authority figure, who's dropping F-bombs. That's not going to happen. But on camera, you got to be professional. And, I talk to a lot of people, a lot of fighters, a lot of athletes. They've been contacting me because they've been doing it for a while. There's a guy I know, Elias Theodoro, who won the Ultimate Fighter Canada, who was a UFC fighter for a long time. He's been a proponent and trying to promote marijuana, medicinal marijuana, CBD for the longest time. And now he's an ambassador. Now that it's legalized, you can buy it at your dispensaries. Totally different ballgame for him now. So he's reaping the benefits of that, like you and I are right now.
Now that it's legalized, all the people are the kind of stigma's kind of going away a little bit, right?
Yeah. You find it weird though that the stigma is still out there? It's almost like this educational piece will never go away. People still have this misconception about CBD in general.
Yeah, there's two stigmas. There's the stigma with cannabis, and then there's the stigma that CBD is cannabis. So it's like there is education on that for sure. 100%.
Absolutely. That's what you and I are for. So we'll continue to do these. But listen, I thank you very much for having me on. I want to do much more of these. What do you think?
I think so too. We'll set up a session next week.
Absolutely. Let's try and get this done at least once a week. We'll have a good time, and we'll just keep up to the latest educational pieces. What's happening with Life X-Cel. If you're watching this now, ladies and gentlemen, and you want to get a nice little discount, please use my code #CBD for life. Go to lifexcel.com. Fantastic products, lots of educational pieces there. But you'll definitely hear from Joe and I much more in the near future. Joe, thanks, man.
Thanks, Joe, for your time. I appreciate it.